kind of got a cool ending. And I'm going to start in the middle of this one because the prologue's kind of long, so I'm going to give you a brief introduction of what's happening. And what's happening is two people have gone into an inn. A man has, during the night, seen a picture, a painting, and he wants to know more about the painting, so he looks the painting up. And this is the description of the painting. Turning to the number which designated the oval portrait. Oh, it's called the oval portrait also, I'm sorry. Turning to the number which designated the oval portrait, there read a vague and quaint words which follow. She was a maiden of rarest beauty, and not more lovely than full of glee. And evil was the hour when she saw and loved and wedded the painter. He passionate, studious, austere, and having already a bride in his art. She a maiden of the rarest beauty, and not more lovely than full of glee. All light and smile and frolicsome as the young fawn, loving and cherishing all things, hating only the art which was her rival, dreading only the palette and brushes and other untoward instruments which deprived her of the countenance of her lover. It was thus a terrible thing for the lady to hear the painter speak of his desire to portray even his young bride. But she was humble and obedient, and sat meekly for many weeks in the dark, high-turreted chamber, where the light dripped upon the pale canvas only from overhead. But he, the painter, took glory in his work, and he went on from hour to hour and from day to day, and he was passionate and wild and moody, who became lost in his reverie, so that he would not see the light which fell so ghastly in that lone turret, withered the health and spirits of his bride, who pined visibly to all but him. Yet she smiled on and still on, uncomplainingly, because she saw that the painter, who had high renown, took a fervid and burning pleasure in his task, and wrought day and night to depict her who so loved him, yet who grew daily more dispirited and weak. And in sooth, some who beheld the portrait spoke of the resemblance in low words, as of a mighty marvel, and of a proof not less of the power of the painter than of his deep love for whom he depicted so surpassingly well. But at length, as the labor drew nearer to the conclusion, there were none admitted into the turret. The painter had grown wild with his ardor of his work, and turned his eyes from the canvas rarely, even to regard the countenance of his wife, and he would not see the tints which he spread upon the canvas were drawn from the cheeks of her who sate beside him. And when many weeks had passed, but little remained to do so, save one brush upon the mouth and one tint upon the eye, and the spirit of the lady again flickered up as the flame within the socket of the lamp. And then the brush was given, then the tint was placed, and for one moment the painter stood before the entrance, the work which he had wrought, but in the next, while he gazed, he grew tremulous and very pallid, aghast, crying with a loud voice, "This indeed is life itself!" Turned suddenly to regard his beloved. She was dead.